There we go. We are live.
Awesome.
I am so excited to be here, guys. This is Kiss Kiss Goodnight, my first live with Kiss Kiss Goodnight. And we are here today with Katie Linda, and we are going to talk to you about breastfeeding support, especially during the pandemic. Let me just give you a little introduction on myself. My name is Shelly Ann Winokur. I am the founder of Kiss Kiss Goodnight, and I am a mom of four. I am a chemical engineer, and I've studied organic skincare and how to make organic skincare. We are excited, Kiss Kiss Goodnight, because we are releasing our discovery kit this month. It's July, yeah, July. We are releasing it on July 15th, and it will have 3 products, a cleanser, a lotion, and a balm, and we'll share a little bit more about that later. But I wanted to connect you with Katie Linda because Kiss Kiss Goodnight is all about connecting. It's connecting children with their parents at the end of the day with those sweet nighttime rituals, and it's connecting parents to experts because really at the end of the day, we want parents to have that nice, sweet peace of mind. When you go and you hit the bed, you know, you're satisfied, you're happy, you're confident with the job you've done, and we know it's tough now more than any other time to get that peace of mind. So we're doing a web series to a Facebook Live series to connect you with amazing experts. Most of them I've experienced myself. So today we are talking to Katie Linda, and she is, I would say, the guru in the Maryland area for breastfeeding as a breastfeeding lactation consultant. The minute you type in sort of Maryland breastfeeding, you will see her. She's there, and I knew Katie before I had Penny, my fourth, but it was such a relief because with Penny, if you remember, she was 4.5 pounds. I relied on Katie to help me. Even though I have nursed for 10 years, I relied on her to help me nurse this 4.5 pound baby. So there's my story, but I want to have Katie talk to you about what she does as a lactation consultant. So Katie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Awesome. Well, I'm Katie Linda. I own the Breastfeeding Den. We are a full-service lactation company in Baltimore. We offer virtual visits and in-person visits despite the pandemic. And so we really can support breastfeeding from pregnancy to weaning. Any kind of stage there, bottles, pumping, solids, all that kind of stuff. We'll help support you through it.
Good. So we will talk a little bit more about the services you offer. But before we jump into that, my first question is, when do we go to you, Katie? When is a good time to talk to a lactation consultant?
Gosh, I mean, ideally before you have your baby. It's so much easier to breastfeed when you're prepared, right? Everyone talks about breastfeeding being normal and natural, and it is, but I always say that breastfeeding is natural like walking, not like breathing, right? This is not a brainstem reflex that just happens. It is a learned behavior. And for most of us, we don't get to see breastfeeding until we get handed our own baby, and then we're like, now what do I do with this thing? I'm supposed to feed it? How? It's not as innate as we would expect. So the sooner that we can help prepare you for breastfeeding, the easier that process is. And I always say it's much easier to make a phone call when you already have someone you know and trust, right? You're overwhelmed, you have a new baby, you're not really sleeping a whole lot at a time. Things that you thought were supposed to be so normal and natural aren't working out as easily as you thought they were going to be. And now you have to figure out who to call and how. If you already have a relationship, it's really easy for you to send a text, say, hey, Katie, I need your help. And I'll say, we'll be there. It's a whole different thing when you have to then start researching while you're not getting any rest and you're already in a place where you feel like you need help. So beforehand is better.
And that's what happened with me with Penny. And when the pediatrician suggested a consultant, I was like, oh, I'm going to go I'm going to get on the phone with Katie. And she really, and yeah, I mean, it was so much better.
It's never too late, but it's so much easier if you have that relationship already. Yeah. You can intervene and help with breastfeeding at any point along the journey. But obviously, if we can fix things before we get too deep into this is not going well, it's going to be easier for everybody. So it's never too late, but the sooner the better.
Right. And you have meetings like with moms
We have an online support group. We do prenatal breastfeeding classes. Right now, they're
okay.
all online, both through us and through the Womb Room in Baltimore. There's lots of great ways to connect with us. So
Okay.
we want to connect with you.
Yes. And so say now, baby's here. And by the way, my sister just had her baby, so it's exciting. Baby's here again. Everybody's having babies now, maybe more than ever at some point. A couple of months from now. But you have your baby. When should we contact you? When should a mom contact you? What types of issues do you see mom coming to you with?
Just concerns that the latch maybe isn't right, or that baby's really fussy at the breast, or if mom's having pain. Those are all signs that maybe something's not quite right with the latch, and we can fix that early on versus getting to a point where baby's not getting enough to eat, or mom's in so much pain that she's like, forget this, I'm not doing this breastfeeding thing anymore. I always feel bad for the moms who are like, well, I've got a couple more days in me, and if you can't fix this, then we're done. It's much easier if we can get to it before you're completely frustrated and ready to give up.
Yeah.
If you start to notice that maybe it doesn't feel right, or something's not, reach out and let's talk. And maybe you don't need a visit. Maybe we can just give you some resources and tell you it's okay. But either way will help.
Yep.
So,
No,
I mean, it's always the sooner the better, but it's never too late. But
yep.
Things aren't right. You know it. Trust your gut.
Uh-huh. And so they reach out for you for breastfeeding support, but let's talk about all the other reasons they can reach out for you. I know you have services regarding pumping and alternative ways of feeding.
Yeah, so we help with babies who are struggling with the bottle as well as at the breast. Sometimes that is early on, and sometimes that's when mom is ready back to work, and all of a sudden baby's not doing a bottle well, and she thought the breastfeeding was going fine, but now she's in a panic state because this baby won't eat and she has to go back to work, and that's really super stressful. So we can definitely help through that. Breast pumps are not one size fits all, and they're not as like out of the box and put it on. As you can, I don't know how much you can see behind me, but I've got a lot of breast pumps just right here. And there's a reason for that, right? Because they're not just a one size fits all thing. And fitting your flanges, working through a pump visit. If all you want to know is like, hey, I know how to use my pump, but it doesn't quite feel right, we can hop on a quick video call and do a flange fitting and figure out what flanges that you need. So realistically, our services on the website talk about a prenatal visit, an initial visit, a flange fit visit, a back to work because I don't know how to do all of the things, right? Like pumping and storing milk and bottle feeding, all of them are overwhelming. Or just a pump visit of how to use your pump. All of those different visits that we put on the website. And realistically, a bottle visit would typically fall under initial visit, but sometimes it's a little bit different. It depends upon what. But a lot of times it really needs that full 2-hour attention to figure out why and get the plan in place.
Yeah. And my next question is now talking more about that initial consultation, or maybe this is a typical consultation you see when mom's had the baby, she's struggling a little bit in one area or the other. What does now during the pandemic, what does a virtual visit look like? And what does a home visit look like?
Great question. So for an in-home visit, we typically spend about 2 hours with the family. And we're going to talk about your history, the pregnancy, the delivery, the breastfeeding up to the current moment. We're going to perform an exam of your baby to kind of see, like, how are they sucking? How are they moving their tongue? Are they opening their mouth wide? Are they not opening their mouth wide? How are they moving their body? Do they seem to have like a curvature that everything's really tight on one side that brings them over? Are their limbs moving freely? Do they really not like turning to one side versus the other? Because that's obviously going to impact the way they breastfeed. If they really have a strong preference to one side versus the other, then we have to work on positioning and work on helping baby. So it's like a full body exam to kind of figure out what's going on with baby and why you're struggling. We work through a feeding. We bring our scale with us, which has a 2-gram accuracy, so we can tell what baby is taking in down to the gram. Well, down to the 2 grams, but so that we know, is it getting to eat, or getting like so much to eat? Like, what's going on? And we're going to pay attention to positioning and how's the feeding sound, and what are babies' cues and signs during the feeding? Are they uncomfortable? Are they happy? Like all of the big picture, right? And then at the end of that, we come up with a game plan to kind of help parents get back on the right track. Sometimes that's pumping, sometimes that's bottle feeding, sometimes that's just breastfeeding, sometimes it's supplementing in other ways. Oftentimes there's exercises to kind of work through. And then we stay in touch for a couple of weeks just to make sure that things are going as we expect them to. The biggest difference with a virtual visit is we tend to get done in about 90 minutes because there's not usually as much distraction. And we don't have the scale, obviously. And we walk parents through the infant exam versus us performing the exam. So that tends to not be quite as long because moms aren't quite as confident, but we do our best to kind of help support that and facilitate that. You can tell how baby's sucking. We're going to walk you through, what does this feel like? Here's what I expect it to feel like. Is that what you're feeling or something else, right? And so we kind of walk through that on video. So we can sometimes see the things as well. Like we can tell that when mom turns the baby's head this way, it comes right back, right? It stays really well on this side. Like that's something obviously we can see through the video. And then we'll talk about that. And oftentimes the virtual visit, there's extra videos that we need later on, or before, depending upon what the intake tells us, to help us see different angles what we can't see just from straight on the video.
And I have to ask, what safety precautions are you taking for yourself and for the family with the at-home visits?
Yeah. So we are currently limiting to 1 family per day. I assume that we're going to have to move to 2 soon. The demand for in-home visits is increasing. We've always taken safety seriously. So we've always used, obviously, medical grade cleaning wipes on our scale, on our electronics, like anything that we have that's going to be touching your home and furniture gets wiped down. Because the current COVID virus is droplet spread, we wear masks the whole visit. We do wear a higher level mask so that parents don't have to be masked, because it's important to see your face. And once you're in your home for 2 hours, whether you're wearing a mask for 2 hours or they're not, like it's still your air and your germs already there. So I'm not sure there's a whole lot of safety there if parents were actually wear a mask. So we make sure that we're well protected with the mask that we wear. We wear gloves anytime touch your baby or you. Before COVID, we only wore gloves when we were actually doing an exam of the baby and like in the baby's mouth. But these days we're a little more cautious because
for both sides safety.
Usually I wouldn't just hold your kid with gloves on, but now we do. But I never before wanted parents to feel like we thought you were a threat, right? But at this point, the concern is more about the next family. And most families are tested in the hospital these days, but that test is only as good as the next place they've been.
Right.
So it's kind of a really hard balance of knowing what's safe and what's not. When we return to doing multiple visits a day, we'll start with just 2, but we will end up like changing clothes between visits. Obviously, lots of sanitizer, lots of hand washing. We want to make sure that we're safe to continue on, obviously, and also that the families that we are seeing are safe and protected, because it's a vulnerable time, and being sick with a new baby is not fun.
Agreed. I mean, like my experience with that time in your life when you do need a breastfeeding consultant, I would call it an essential service.
Yeah.
I remember emotionally, physically, it was something I needed, and something I would, at that point, essential service to me and my family. And even if I had to make the decision now, it would be something I would probably want to do at home. Again, that's mine, because I'm putting myself back into that time period when I was a mother and I was so with a newborn, a first-time mother, and I was so dependent on seeing a consultant and emotionally too. I would count the days, the hours, the minutes. I was like, something to make me feel a little bit more confident, to make my body feel better. And Katie talked about her service. I remember her coming in with Penny. And granted, with Penny, I had already nursed for like several years before, and it was very different nursing a small baby. And Katie came in and did spend 2 hours with us, and I learned so much during that time. You talked about kids not taking a bottle. My others hardly ever took a bottle. Penny, at 4.5 pounds during your visit, chugged a bottle that I pumped. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And we use, she was exclusively breastfed till 6 months, and then she still breastfeeds. But I couldn't believe this itty bitty baby. This was something I would have never tried, and I was just like, and that helped her. I mean, within days, we were always going up in weight and my confidence level, and then we were, ready to kind of wean from the pump and nurse. But then she took a bottle after too. I could pump and leave milk, and that's something I never ever did with any of my children because it would just go to waste. They wouldn't drink it. So even if you are a seasoned mom, or things happen, especially now, where you will you may need a consultant, and just know that it's okay. Yeah. Even if you've done it for years, you don't know everything. Every baby's different. Yeah. Every part in your motherhood, it's different. So definitely use that resource. Absolutely. So how do they find lactation consultants?
That's a great question. So Google is a great, obviously, you're gonna find information there. Asking your friends who they've used is huge, because you want someone who is going to really go the distance with you. And just like all pediatricians are not made equal, all lactation consultants are not made equal, right? Like we all have to have the same basic knowledge to get into this field, and beyond that, what we learn is up to us and what continuing ed we kind of work on. So there are lots of different directories of lactation consultants. It's hard for me to say this is the one to find, but realistically, I'm always happy to connect moms with local resources. So feel free to send a message to my Facebook page at the Breastfeeding Den, and let us know where you live and what you're looking for, and we'll send you somebody. Lactation community is really small. There aren't that many of us, realistically. So I do know lactation consultants in every state, and many countries.
Yeah.
I had lunch with a friend of mine posted on Facebook over Christmas-ish, I think, that they were at her spouse's family. So I was sent her a quick message like, "You're in Pennsylvania? Can I come meet you for lunch?"
Yeah.
And she's in California, but we had lunch in Lancaster, and it was lovely.
Yes.
So it's it's a small world, and we all know each other, and can cross refer when needed to find the right person. So reaching out to me is probably the best way if you don't have a great referral from a friend.
Oh yeah, and Katie and I talked about a little bit before this live that so many of us are having baby showers, even virtual baby showers. Have a section where you recommend services to each other, recommend who you use as the lactation consultant, or for any other pre or postnatal consultations you would need.
Even like if your baby showers through like Baby List, you can put like different funds in your baby shower registry through Baby List. So you can say like, I would like a lactation visit. This is more important than having cute clothes or the perfect nursery decor, whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's certainly areas that people are willing to cut depending upon what they are, or who they are, right? Like everybody has their own priorities. But you can add that.
That's a great idea.
As a gift to get on your baby list, and then you have the money, and way to go when you need.
Yeah, I mean, as a mom of four and going through the experiences of that I have, I feel like if I saw that on the list, I would definitely contribute. I'd probably buy that cute baby outfit too, but I would contribute because I know from my experience how valuable it is. So I would, and from now on, I'm almost gonna recommend putting having others put this on their put these services
On the registry.
on their list. Yeah, and for it to be top of mind, because it will, it will even, as you prepare for this journey, it will make you that much more confident too.
Right.
That you have this support system. We talked about a little bit about putting it on the list and the cost. Can you tell us the cost associated with some of these services?
It really varies by geographic region. In Maryland, you're talking about $200-ish roughly, for the most part, for a board certified lactation consultant visit in your home. If you're in, like New York and Massachusetts, like you're in the $350 range. But if you're in rural Georgia, you're looking at closer to 100 to 150.
Okay.
So there's a big range depending upon the cost of living in your area.
Yeah,
obviously, because we have to pay our mortgage too. But many lactation consultants are taking different insurance plans at this point, which is also going to vary geographically. In this area, Aetna is the big one that puts us in network without a whole lot of fights. But I know in Arizona, it's Blue Cross that's easy to get in with, and the rest of them are a huge battle. So it really is going to vary based upon geography. But the other piece to consider is that the Affordable Care Act does mandate coverage for lactation support. So if your insurance company paid for your breast pump, they should cover lactation. Sometimes that is a reimbursement after the fact, and your lactation consultant can either give you a super bill or we just file it for you because you don't have to do that. So talk to your lactation consultant about what the insurance options are and what that looks like. All of our information is actually on the website, so you can call and get the pre-authorization, and then we'll file it for you. And if we have the confirmation code, then reimbursement's usually pretty easy.
Okay.
So yeah.
So another thing we talked about in the past was mom's mental health during the pandemic. You're out there, you're interacting with moms who just had a baby, maybe some first-time moms. What are you seeing out there in the world of mom's mental health?
It's rough right now. We were not meant to have babies in isolation, and this is not how it was supposed to be. Mom's families overall deserve better, right? Like, even before the pandemic, things weren't necessarily great. 100 years ago, we all lived in our community, in our village with our family, right? Like, we didn't move across the country from somebody family-wise was there. And so we had a lot more support than most families do these days. And the pandemic has just exacerbated that, right? Families who would have had a grandmother flying in to come stay and help don't have access to that. It's not safe for grandma to fly right now. And you're all by yourself, and you don't know who's safe to come in and who's not. And can you have your friends just drop dinner off on the front porch? Like, no one can come in and just like hold your baby so you can shower, right? Like, it's hard. And so we're really encouraging moms to seek support. No one's really okay right now, and this is harder than it really should be. And it's not wrong to seek support. There's plenty of support out there. We have lots of great options here in the Baltimore area. We actually listed on the website, and we've got a few more. So I'm always happy to share those resources with families, but learning to take care of yourself and kind of realizing that things aren't going to go as expected is really important. And it's hard right now.
Yeah, I think just remember mom's mental health is extremely important. Find support, find your resources, reach out. So many women are in this boat with you. Look for those mom groups, anything. Keep communicating and reaching out. So, and that kiss,
Even
kiss
things
goodnight.
like
I mean, I'm
Calm
feeling
app
this. I
or the
want to pair
Headspace
up.
app.
What is that?
Yeah, but
Sorry.
even things like the Calm app or the Headspace app that have some of that like guided meditation stuff, like just taking a few minutes for yourself to just breathe
Hmm.
and relax and kind of let all of the stress go as much as you can
Hmm.
is going to get you into a better place to move forward.
Hmm.
Um, Setting up boundaries and focusing on what's important and kind of ignoring the rest, just giving yourself grace and permission to like not do all of the laundry every day.
Yeah.
Um, or like leave some dishes in the sink because you need to rest.
Right.
Um, Taking time for you is really important.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. So, and then Kiss Kiss Goodnight, we definitely stress that, our products are nighttime skincare products, and we talk about the end of the night, you want a sleepy baby and you want a happy mama. You want a happy
Yeah.
mama that has this peace of mind. And we say, for me personally, it was always I put baby to sleep and then I have that me time to use the Calm app to take care of myself. And I look forward to that time every day. And that's how, you've connected with your baby all day. Now it's time to just connect with yourself. And really, it's that looking forward to it too, if you know you have that time at the end of the day. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, I am. If you can see back here before we end the call, Katie has been supporting me. Katie was there when she tested all our products. This is the first time I'm actually showing off our discovery box.
It's so cute.
Um, it's ridiculously cute. We have the best designers. So these are travel versions that we wanted to introduce before we introduced the full size of all our products. So Katie helped us test all these, and she filled out surveys and let us know what she thought. And now that was months ago, or like six,
Yes.
8 months ago, and now we have finally the products here, and we have our cleanser. Actually, years ago when I first came up with this idea was around the time I met Katie, and we talked about it over coffee. And this is the melting balm cleanser, and it's a gel that turns into a milk. There's a nice video on our website with that. And one of the things I love about this and how I feel like it supports that newborn breastfeeding stage too is that there's no essential oils or aroma with this product for mom or baby. So I say that because I always feel like baby needs to smell mama and need to smell milk. Um, but you still need to clean baby at some point. So this is the product. So when I designed this, I thought about that.
That's
The
awesome.
importance of keeping it neutral, of course, for that very reason, to help that interaction, to help that connection with baby and mama, because you don't want any distraction. We also have a nice lotion here this is great for older babies. It is our Sweet Whispers. And, this is great for mamas to use on their hands and feet too. And the one I have here is our this is our protective balm. And this is a great balm for everything. It's like everything. We call it the peace of mind protective balm, because I say use it from head to toe, cheek to cheek. Cheeks, diaper area, um, lips. Mom will use it to give herself that really nice foot massage. Guys, I didn't do foot massages until really late in my I feel like too late in my life. They're amazing, and they're even nice with the balm. We are going to talk to a few moms to test it as a nipple cream, because it is 100% plant-based. It is tested for sensitive skin. We're going to have a few moms test it as a nipple cream because we think it's super protective, and it has a nice warm to it too. Yeah, it's great for your hands too, especially.
My little
Like,
one, my 6-year-old, had a really bad like dry skin rash this winter, and
mhm.
then we got your sample kit, and it was amazing. Like her
Oh,
skin went from like red and angry to like normal again in a
yeah,
matter
it's
of days. It
nice.
was lovely.
Oh, that's great, because the idea is for it to moisturize as well as give a nice protective
It was perfect.
seal or a nice coating on the skin So we are
And it was
actually
so
launching
gentle, it
this
didn't
on,
burn.
yes, yeah. And yeah, now we added the little vanilla aroma too. It's so hard to, but this is going to be available July 15th. And I'll probably have samples for Katie when she does her home visits too, to share with moms. And yeah, so we thank you so much. I am going to open it up for questions. We have a few people on. If anybody has any questions, I think some people are wrapping it up. Katie, did you have any last minute things to share with our moms?
I don't even know. I mean, you're doing a great job, moms. Like, you're really doing a great job.
No.
That is really hard.
Yes, I completely agree. Breastfeeding is such a journey. Please, seek support and know time is also on your side. Time will help you heal
Yeah.
if things aren't going your way too. Because I remember it took me a couple of weeks to get, when I was a new mom, to get comfortable with breastfeeding, and I do have that feeling that this should be natural. Is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with this baby? Nope, nope. That's all. That's all normal. It's all 100% normal. So definitely reach out for support. Yeah, connect with Katie. And stay tuned. We are having at once or twice a week, we are having these Facebook Live series. The next one up is with Hole Gillerman, and she is an essential oil guru. She has products sold in many retailers, and what we're going to talk about is the safety of essential oils, and talk about baby prenatal, postnatal, postpartum. Sorry, and then for babies and children, how to use it safely, because I think that's a big topic. And for moms and for me too, even though I am around this, I still have concerns about what and when to use essential oils. So look, stay tuned for that. That'll be next Wednesday, actually, on July 8th. So thank you guys for joining us. Have a happy and wonderful holiday weekend. And definitely, Katie suggested reaching out to her if you need any support. Okay.
Absolutely. We're here. We're happy to chat.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks.